Hello, this is just going to be a quick video on how to use Firebase and what we're using it for. Sorry if I sound tired or if I don't know, if I'm like being slow. It's 6 a.m. and I have not slept. But Firebase is a database that we use to, store our data. And we're also going to use it to help authenticate users. So like help them create accounts. And Firebase will also take care of storing their login info for us. As you can see, we don't have any users created in our app yet, but we're going to fix that in this video. And also just worth showing, I guess, this is the database, and we actually store our resources in here. This is where the API goes to get data. So you see there's a clothing array with all the info, employment, food, and housing. We're also going to store our user data here eventually. So when a user signs up, we'll store some information in this user object as well, but that's empty for now except for a test field. So how do we create a user? Well, the Firebase documentation is actually great, and it will help us with that. I will link this in a Slack, and you can read it on your own time. But for now, we're just going to copy paste this, create a password based account, copy paste this code so we can use it for ourselves. I would recommend, honestly, just in general, if you're learning to code, to not copy paste, because if you type it out yourself, you learn it better. But I'm a bad role model. So, oh, well, I guess I already copy pasted it, but let's pretend I didn't. So this is a home page. It looks pretty scary, but I can go over it real quick. It's not that bad. These are the import statements, standard import statements, so whatever we need here. These are the state variables that I use. I went over these in a previous video. If you don't remember, I can link that in the Slack as well. But basically, they're just variables that won't change every time the function re-renders, unless you want it to change. And this here is all. This is basically HTML, so you can just kind of read it, and literally what it says is what displays on the screen. So this is a div. Basically, a div is a container, right? The background color is orange, and actually, let me boot up the recording of the app. Hopefully, you'll see it on this video in a few seconds. This right here is a gradient. It's literally just a gradient in the background. Right. Text input is the text input, email, and password. And then we have a ternary operator here. So if we're on the login state, it'll only show the two text inputs and this button. And if we're on the sign up state, we'll show an additional username and location, which are what the user will need to sign up. So right now on the login button, I have a onPress function, which is literally when you press the login button, it'll do this. And this is the Signup User function, which is up here. So now what do we want to do when they press the button? Well, first let's alert saying sign up successful, and then we'll just copy paste our function here. Now what this does, literally creates a user with email and password, and email and password are the state variables here that I made earlier. As you can see, the state variables change whenever you update the text inputs. So whatever you put in the email and password field will be what your account is created as. And actually, as good practice, we don't want to put the alert here, because the signup might fail, right? We don't want it to say signup successful if it fails. So that's what the .then and .catch functions are. Create user, this thing is actually a promise. And what that means is that it's a statement that doesn't execute immediately. It takes some time, and it could fail. So we have a .then after it, which is what will happen if this succeeds, and a .catch, which is what will happen if this fails. So obviously we only want it to say success if it succeeds, and if it fails, let's just print out the error. So now if I try to sign up on the app, right, let's put in test and literally anything. As you see, it says sign up successful, and if I go to the Firebase page, we now have a user here, test@gmail.com. It will not show you the password, which is a good thing. So yeah, now we still need to do a few things, which I think you should do this week. First of all, the sign up user function is on the login button when it should be on the sign up button, right? So you would literally just, well, here you would just put on press equals sign up user, right? Second of all, we need to store the name and location when you sign up as well, so that should happen. And I will probably post more links on how to write to the database, because we want to do that. But essentially, if the create user is successful, then in a .then we want to write to database the name and location variables, which are right here, name and location. And then finally, we want to create an actual login user. So instead of, the user being created every time, we want, the user to be able to actually log in, right? So I'll just change, where is it? Oh my god, here. Instead of sign up, we want the user to be logged in. And if you look at the docs, you'll see the login function. It's pretty similar to sign up, but yeah, just put that there and do this as well. Let me know if you need help. And that should be all. I hope this video wasn't like confusing. Sorry. Yeah, bye.